away from Holmes, finds his way to the outside. McLaughlin turns him around. He sets and throws, and this ball is caught.
Well, it looks like we got some answers over the last weekend, and the big question has to be was Michigan just fired up and ready to play Nebraska, or is Nebraska really this far away from just being mediocre? And it might be a little of both. The game went roughly kind of, I thought, offensively. I knew we were still in that transition offensively. Might be a year or two before that comes around. But defensively, I was really disappointed. I think we probably heard that from a lot of people. But I was really shocked by how well Michigan went through this defense. And a lot of people wanted to blame the offense, wanted to blame saying the defense was on the field and all day and they didn't, got tired. Well, that's ridiculous. Michigan was moving the ball from the opening kickoff. So it just seemed to me that Nebraska wasn't ready for that game. And how are you not ready for Michigan? I mean, that's what probably disappointed me the most was there didn't seem to be a fire under them, like they were wanting this game. It's almost like they were scared. It's almost like, little brother going up against big brother and big brother's just picking on them. They fought. Trust me, under Frost, they fought a lot better than that when they played. They might not have won. And there's a lot of games Nebraska didn't win, but a lot of them they were in the game. And they just needed that extra oop to get over the edge. And even against Michigan, they should have won the last time they played Michigan in Lincoln. And a late turnover, a strip from Martinez ended up leading to a last-minute field goal and Michigan winning. So, to me, when I was watching it, and I happened to be at the game, I kept saying I was just so disappointed in the defense. I knew from the opening drive when they took it down there and scored, the game was basically over. I knew the offense maybe at the most would score. I had it, had them at 6, and that would have been a late score. And I said 6 because I said they'd probably go for 2 and miss it. Well, I expected a closer game. I expected the defense to keep them in it. And I thought if they got it late, they'd probably need, they'd probably need 8 points. But by then it's 45 to nothing or 38-0, and yeah, you might as well kick the extra point. So they end up getting 7 instead of 6. But so I kind of said that. So the question is, where do they go from now? If you want to look at the bright side, the rest of their season, rest of the schedule is, I wouldn't say easy. Nothing's easy in the Big Ten, but doable. And it does seem like nobody in the West wants to take it. Illinois is kind of disappointed me. Now, I did, beginning of the season, predict them to lose to Michigan. I predicted them to lose by 3 touchdowns. Well, it was even more than that. Even though by now, when the defense was shining as well as they were, and Michigan was struggling against 4, not very good teams. I guess 5, you want to count Nebraska. And they were all at home. I mean, Rutgers was the best they faced. And trust me, don't underestimate Rutgers. They have a real good defense. They just don't have no offense to go with it. So we don't want to overlook that when they played them. But Bowling Green and East Carolina and them that took care of Michigan, it seems like when Michigan came in here, I think that's all they heard was about Nebraska's defense, and they were only giving up 1.8 a rush. And I think they wanted to prove a point. Hey, we're still the number 2 team in the nation, and we're still top dog in this conference until you knock us off. Which, don't say that too loud, because Penn State is looking really good, and right now I give my edge to Penn State. I actually predicted Penn State before the season to play Michigan to the end, and Michigan pulling it out because it was in the big house. But I did say they would beat Ohio State, and I had someone remark, there's no way they'd beat Ohio State. I wonder if he feels that way now. But they haven't played yet, so that doesn't mean Ohio State don't pull it out. But Michigan came in here on a purpose. They came in here and looked the best they have, and maybe just being on the road, getting them away from the home helped out. So this week is, and it's a short week. Nebraska plays on Friday. But we're going to find out where this team goes because they still can make a bowl with what they have left. But it starts this Friday. And if they lose this game on Friday, you might as well just go ahead and knock up another year without making a bowl. I don't see it happening without it. But I want to see how well, mainly the defense. The offense is what it is. They are going to be a run first, probably a run only, with some play action here or there, maybe some option. And honestly, I would love to see Purdy get a shot because I like Harburg. I think, right now he's probably the future, but he's still learning. Purdy's a little more into his college career, and to me, Purdy can run the option and run extremely well, and he's, to me, a little better thrower right now, a little better passer. Herbert, to me, still needs to work on his decision making, even mainly in the RPO. A lot of times, he seems to like to keep it. I think he's used to, even in college, he was the man to go to, and so he's reluctant to give it up. There's a couple times where he should have gave it up to Anthony Grant or should have pitched it to Anthony Grant, and he didn't. And I think Michigan went in there going. If you notice before the other. The two games before that he started, they were keying on Anthony Grant. So he's pull it down and run and would get some good yards. Michigan came in here, I think, stating they were going to stop Harburg first. And he got stopped. And they had some decent runs here and there. So I just think his decision making of when he needs to pull it and when he needs to pitch it, when he needs to hand it, he's got to get better. And he's young; it will get better. So, like I said, I wouldn't mind seeing Purdy just to see what he does. Purdy, what is a junior now, I believe, and we got him for a couple more years. Why not use him? I know a lot of people said, "What about Sims?" I think the first two games on Sims kind of told me, if you haven't figured this out by now and you play like that, I don't know if you do get it figured out. Maybe you can, but I thought that going into game 2, and there was, three more turnovers, I believe. And you have 6 or 7 turnovers in the first 2 games. Most players probably wouldn't even see the field again. But this weekend is, to me, more about how does the defense respond. And I think you're going to see the rest of the Big Ten. They're going to take a page out of Michigan and go after the quarterback, stop the quarterback, no matter who it is, and say, you're going to beat us another way. You got 2 running backs hurt, so it's going to be Anthony Grant, and I think Josh Fleeks is now going to get a lot more. He looked good on his run, and I think he deserves to show more. Give Anthony a break. But I think it's going to have to be the back show. Now, the good thing is the defense does have a chance. Illinois' offensive line is not doing well. But this game, to me, is basically a pick-em. I know they got Illinois favored by 3 or 4. That's basically a pick-em. It's only 3 because they're in Champaign, Illinois. If this was in Lincoln, it would be Nebraska by 3. So don't count this as an easy one. I know a lot of people said, well, they just got whipped by Purdue. Hold on a second. I want to tell you how that game went. This is the stats to Purdue's 44-19 win over Illinois. Illinois had 17 first downs to 25, but they had 375 total yards to Purdue's 406. That is only 31 yards difference. They passed for 226 to produce 217, so they passed for more yards. On 18 of 32 attempts, 7.1. On Purdue's 18 of 26, 8.3. So they were pretty close. And in the rushing territory, they rushed for 149 to Purdue's 189, but Illinois' yards per rush was 4.4 to Purdue's 4.2 because Purdue rushed it a little more. So overall, you see, totally, this was an even game. So what's the difference? Was it turnovers? No. They both had one turnover apiece. Both of them lost a fumble. Was it time of possession? No. It was basically even. Purdue had 31, 56, basically 32 minutes to 28 minutes to Illinois. So 2 minutes separate them. You put 2 minutes over there, it's even. So what is it? Tell you what it is. Where it comes down a lot of times. Third down efficiency. 13 third downs on both sides. Purdue had 13 third downs to Illinois' 13 third downs. But Purdue successfully made the first down on 8 of them 13, which is about 2/3, about 65, 66% to Illinois' 2 first downs out of them 13, which is about 12 to 15%, if I'm guessing right. How you got to look at that is when there's 6 more times Illinois' gotten, or Purdue's gotten Illinois off the field in the same amount of third downs, there's 6 more times that Purdue was able to continue on the drive. And so you could see this game wasn't that far apart. So I don't want anyone looking at this game going, Purdue just whipped them, Plus, Purdue got most of them in the third quarter. Illinois kind of had a bad third quarter, gave up 21 of them, 44. So you take that away, it's 23-19. So they had one pretty bad quarter. So overall, it looks worse than what it is. So don't go in there thinking this is a walk in the park, because it's not going to be. So what's the keys for Nebraska? One, you have to get back to that dominating defense and stop that run. They couldn't stop Michigan's run. They're going to have to stop the run. And Purdue's going to try to run. Yeah, they're going to try to throw, but they rushed for 45 times. And I think they're going to try it more on Nebraska. So the key is Nebraska's going to have to, one, stop the run. Get back to that rush defense. Prove to me the Michigan game was a fluke and that you just had a bad game, or you just wasn't ready, or you were scared of Big Brother because it's the number 2 team. Might go for that. But I think they're going to have to do that too. All right. Is they're going to have to get after the quarterback. The last 2 games, they have no sacks. They seem to not be able to pressure the quarterback, just bringing the 4 guys. They can't do it without blitzing. And now you have, Luke Reimer out, and now Singleton's out. Our safety, one of our better tacklers, especially, is a safety. And no offense to who's taking the place, but they're not Singleton. He plays the run extremely well, and as you know, Luke Reimer is the leading tackler. So their absence really hurt in that game. And on top of that, you're playing an elite team in Michigan. But you're not playing one here against Illinois. Illinois has been disappointing. Their defense has been disappointing. And it might be because their defensive coordinator, who is now the head coach of Purdue, maybe that's because they're gone. And offensively, they were going to have to bring in and start a few new guys and new players. And they're still learning their way. So I can't say their offense is worse than Nebraska's. Might even be better in a way in Nebraska. I think they're pretty even when it comes to that. So the question is defense. I do give Nebraska's defense an edge on that. So one, they're going to have to stop the run, get back to that 1.8 or to make them throw the ball. And then you're going to have to get after the quarterback, whatever it takes. So the secondary is going to have to do their job. Then you're going to have to get the running backs into this game, okay? You're going to have to bring in a little more option, and I mean not option looks where you keep the ball. You might have to pitch the ball a few times, all right? You got to make it look like you're willing to pitch it to the back. You're willing to pull it up and throw it. Do you see what J.J. McCarthy did? There was a few of them RPOs where he was running down there to run it or pitch it, and boom, he'd bounce it and throw that ball to that open tight end or open receiver coming across. You got to do that. Why aren't we doing that? Okay? And I understand we don't have a J.J. McCarthy. The kid is really good. He looked even better in person. Probably one of his better games I've seen him play. And if he plays like that all year, yeah, they're just like I said at the beginning of the year when I predicted them to be in a national championship game. He plays like that all year, he might even win that game against Georgia. I put him in there. So they still got some tough tests. They still got Penn State, and that's going to be really tough. And they still got Ohio State, and that's a rivalry game. And as you guys know, that's tough no matter what the records are. So question is, how well will Nebraska do here? So they could do that. Also, one of the keys is keep a hold of the ball. Don't turn the ball over. Stop that run. Get after the quarterback. Now, get the running backs in there. Maybe throw in a little more RPOs. Or show that you're willing to throw the ball, even if you end up throwing it, not completing it. Pitching it, and he only gets a yard. You got to show you're willing to do that so they don't key just on the quarterback. You do all that, there's a chance. So what is my prediction for this game? Well, Bellinamy, I think that's how you pronounce his name. I don't know why I have trouble pronouncing his name. Who came from Wisconsin and has no problem beating Nebraska. And what did he do? He ran the ball on us. So I think he's going to be the difference in this game. I'm going to have to give the edge, close edge, to Illinois being at home. And I'm going to come back and say 13-10 Illinois. I don't think it's going to be a very high scoring game. And yes, Nebraska could pull this one out. Could be a last second field goal for Nebraska to win this game. But I think it's going to be a low scoring game. It's going to be 13-10, 12-9, 12-10, something like that. So if you want to take the under, take the under. I think it's 44 points right now. I know a lot of predictions thinking they're going to score. Both of them going to score in the 20s. I just think the defenses are a little better on both sides of the ball than both the offenses. And so I don't see that happening. I wouldn't take the point spread. I wouldn't take Nebraska +3 or Illinois -3, just because that's too close to call. So if you're going to bet on it, just take the under on the 44. So right now, that's going to be my final prediction: 13-10 Illinois on a last-second field goal, or 12-9, and that's going to take us to 2-3 and probably end our chances at a bowl. But wouldn't surprise me if Rule had them ready and they come out firing. Tony White has them fired up and playing better and them winning. And I'd love to be wrong on this one. Trust me, I would. So, again, if you guys want to be part of the giveaway, I'm going to give away the 3 Heisman trophies that signed the helmet, the authenticated helmet. And that's being given away on November 1st. I'm going to do a drawing of my members of the Big Red Country Club. So if you want to be a part of that, just click that join button that you see there. Become a member of the Throw the Bones membership, and you'll be part of that drawing come November 1st. Plus, you'll be part of the Husker home game ticket giveaway that I've been giving away. We'll be giving away the November games here in probably a couple more weeks. I like to do them a month in advance. And if you can't go, if you live somewhere in another state and you want them, you probably have an easy time selling them someone in Lincoln or in Nebraska. And if you are from Nebraska and you can't, you can either keep it as a souvenir Rules first year, or you could give it away or sell it yourself or go to the game. I've been going to a few more games this year, just because it's Rule and mainly because I'm doing this right here too. So I didn't do a post gut reaction on the Michigan game, or I actually really kind of did. And then I got ill and was put in the hospital. I just got out. And by then it's already, what, Wednesday? So I thought it'd be better. I needed to go ahead and get my prediction for the next game, since that's a Friday game. And I thought, well, the post gut reaction, kind of a little too late if you don't get it out in time. So I do have it. I might throw it up there just in case somebody decides they want to look at it or see what was said. Probably no different what you've been hearing, no different what I kind of said here. How disappointed I was in the defense. Just didn't look ready, didn't look fired. I thought I'd see more fire in them. I just thought they'd play better. That's basically kind of what I said. I already knew Michigan was going to win. I don't think anyone thought they were going to win that game. I just thought I thought the defense would keep them in it. I just didn't think they had the offense to win it. And I was just disappointed that they just didn't come out with that fire and intensity that I expect them to. So it's still a learning process for Rule staff, trying to get these players. And, there's a lot of veterans on this defense and all that. And it's lost a lot of games. And has it just got in their head they just can't win? So hopefully not. But, I might go ahead and put that out. But if you don't mind, if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel, as I'd really like to try to get the subscribers up. And if you can, if you want to show thanks, you can click that thanks button to do a super thanks. Anything you give, that's appreciative. Right now, I do all this out of my own pocket. I still work full time, so it's kind of hard for me to do all this, get the videos out in time. Got to edit them my own, just because I lose money here. I don't make any money. So everybody who thinks you make money here, I'm not. Yeah, no, I'm probably losing about $500 a month doing this. So any help you give, it would be really appreciated. And all that have helped, thank you very much. I really do appreciate it. So until the next video, guys, go Big Red.